artwork. It's complicated. Very complicated.
All of it is because you can say, I could say, I don't like a lot of, I don't like abstract, but then something will speak to you. And the impressionists were right on the edge of that. You stand back from the book and you see real close to it. You don't always see what you're doing.
Well, I do, and I'll put one here. If anybody else is.
I like Rococo. And I like Rococo artwork. The girl on the swing.
Are you guys going to use this?
But when you get into the 20th century and the late, I think.
Do you want this?
You had the Chrysler.
Did you want this?
They all can be coming out. Put a gray box beside it, or just a bunch of cubicle windows. Well, and we went away from.
Well, I gotta have some just decide where to put stuff. Yeah, that sounds like an excellent plan. You can really need that. I just don't want anybody not going to. And they wouldn't do it.
Oh, he might not have it yet. This is the new.
How far down?
But I don't have mine.
Most of the time it's open.
So,
Shabbat Shalom.
And this is the new one. This one is.
hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Shabbat Shalom.
A chair.
Yes, yes. It is better.
So I can just trust you
Would you like to sit here? Would that be better?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to be standing up in just a minute.
I think this works, thanks.
Okay.
Right here? No, that might be closer. What do you think?
I thought she was going to give us one that.
Yeah, I think that's.
You got the order of service.
Oh, we,
We didn't get the new one.
I think we're gonna change
That
our
tells us
mind.
when to
Okay.
stand
Hi,
up and
Freddie.
sit down.
yeah.
Hi,
Can you say hello? What?
Hello.
I think we changed our mind.
Okay.
I think we're gonna use it.
So this one says.
Nice. We're seeing.
It's not for, we don't have it.
I think you can have one of these.
What means, is it for us?
Yeah, that's for you.
Oh,
This one, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. This one is like a stage direction.
This tells us when to stand up and run up.
I am. Oh,
Thank you.
It was a real change in Tucson, that's for sure.
And it's unique.
It was beautiful, but I'm happy with nothing.
Well, I had to wait. I had to go somewhere, I kept waiting. I wait till last minute. I don't want to have to fly.
Is that right? Yeah. I was.
Okay, this is our stage.
Marjorie, is the height of the mic right? So I just moved the music stand. Where do you want it compared to the
Is that good or is it now? It's
Marjorie, your mic is on.
straight.
I just turned
Is it on?
Yes, it is on.
It's good?
Okay, I'm going to invite all those who are singing as part of the choir who came to rehearsal last night to come up and assemble.
Miriam song.
Testing.
I'm going to invite all those choir members who came up last night, rehearsal with us last night, to come up and assemble. And I get it.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
It's so great to be here in Boise, Idaho, with my good friend, Rabbi Apal, Marjorie Hochberg. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. And I told a friend of mine just yesterday, how good a friend is she? She said she's so good a friend that I would go to freaking Idaho in freaking February for my Shabbat Apal. So yes, so choir members, if you could assemble behind us, please.
And for those who are in the kahal, in the congregation, you are going to want one of these lovely handouts. On the cover is a list of all of the pieces that we're going to sing tonight. Some will be sung with the choir, and some will be sung solo by Marjorie. But inside are also words so that you can join us in the singing. So you're going to want one of these handouts. They were in the back. And we're going to begin in the handout with the singing of Hine Matot.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
As soon as the sun goes down. And welcome to Marjorie. Hine matot manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matot manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matot, shevet achim gam yachad. How good and pleasant it is when we dwell in peace together. How good and pleasant it is when we dwell in peace together. Good and pleasant, brothers and sisters together. Good and pleasant, brothers and sisters together. Hine matot manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matot manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matot manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matot manayim, shevet achim gam
Thank you, choir. How fun is that? So Shabbat Shalom, welcome to our Shabbat evening service. We are a diverse community that encompasses a range of backgrounds and experiences. Welcome to all those who are joining us virtually this evening. We are using Mishkan Tefillah as our prayer book, and it looks like this. In addition, if you are in the sanctuary, you're going to need this lovely little handout so that you can join in the singing later on. When I invite you to stand this evening, Please do so as you are able and comfortable in doing so. And if after you stand up you realize that that was a much bigger commitment than you had planned, please feel free to sit back down. Thank you so much to our musicians this evening, including Sandy Barringer, Julia Franklin, Gunther Sue, Sophia Sue, Betsy Russell, Lawrence Shapiro, Judith Sternberg, Annabelle Travis, Brad Wolf, and our very special guest who was willing to brave the snow. I didn't tell her that there might be snow. That's on me. Cantorial soloist Marjorie Hochberg. And she's here this evening because this Shabbat we read the part of the Torah that speaks of the crossing of the Sea of Reeds. And then the Israelites burst into song afterwards. So having a special musical program is something that is typical for that Shabbat, where we read that beautiful poem. I would like to remind you to turn off your cell phones and other technological devices. I think mine went off during the Hine Matot. Sorry about that. If it has a battery, if it makes a noise, so battery plus noise, please take a quick look. See if it might go off while you are enjoying this absolutely amazing Shabbat. We start our Shabbatot. I like to start Shabbat by setting an intention for this day. And in order to do that, I invite people to take 3 deep breaths. I invite you now to prepare yourselves for that moment. That includes, if it's comfortable for you, to uncross your legs, uncross your arms, to sit up straight. Every adult who harangued you when you were a child telling you to stand up straight and sit up straight, I hate to tell you this, but they were right. Oh well. And then consider whether or not you want to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And with these 3 deep breaths that I am inviting you to take, I invite you to set your intention. Your intention this week could be putting down the burden of lists and expectations. Your intention for this Shabbat could be preparing yourself for the next round of work that needs to be done. Your intention for this Shabbat can be just encountering the holiness of the divine and of Shabbat. But now take those 3 deep breaths and choose what your intention is on this Shabbat. We continue on page 127. Page 127, in the middle of the page. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God. Please turn to page 138, where you will find our Lechadodi.
Lechadodi, Likrakala, Yavavai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nekabela. Lechadodi, Likrakala, Yavavai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nekabela. Shamor v'zavor, v'ribor echad, B'nai Shabbat, Nekabela. Glory and shalom, al teret ha'olam, Rama simcha, u'besola, tov emunei, al sekulah, Glory Allah, glory Allah. Le'adodi likrat kala, yavavai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nekabela. Le'adodi likrat kala, yavavai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nekabela. Le'adodi likrat kala, yavavai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Nekabela.
Please be seated. Page 143 at the very, very bottom of the page. And so we understand that ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. They go about their tasks in holy anonymity, often even unknown to themselves. Yet if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now. Never forget that you, too, yourself, may be a messenger, perhaps even one whose errand extends over several lifetimes. We continue on page 144 with the Hatsid Kaddish. Yikada.
Go ahead.
After you.
Yikada, Yikada, Shanei, Rabba.
Amen.
Amadi brak you take them with Mohute. Mehaye Hoyo, Mechon, Uchaye Bechol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, Bagala, Uyishman Kari, Me'im Aru Arim, Yehesh Me'am Mehora, Leor Leomaya, Yivara Veishava, Vipavitrama Vinasei, Vitala, Vegitala, Shanei Kodesham, Rihu, Leila Mikovir Chata, Leshirata, Tu Sherata, Nefemata, Yami Iram Leoma, Ve'yimaru, Amen.
I invite all who are comfortable in doing so to please rise. The Baruch Hu is found on page 146.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai,
join together at the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamani Barachim. Page 150.
Avad Shalom, Beit Israel, Amah. Torah mitzvot v'chim mishpati, otanu lima'atah. Amen Adonai Eloheinu, v'shofteinu v'tumeinu, nasiach Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 152, please rise as you're comfortable in doing so for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated, page 154. Page 157 at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We are going to continue on page 646. Page 646, we have Miriam's song, and then we will turn back to page 158. So you might want to leave your finger as a bookmark at page 158. But we will start with Debbie Friedman's Miriam's song, which talks about this very moment that we are celebrating this Shabbat.
We encourage you all to join in singing the chorus with us, the choir, and if it so inspires you, clap your timbrels, your hands. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long. Well, Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wore was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances for the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Verse 3. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just been through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight. Jump into Mikama. Mikama kabai, Mikadonai, Mikama kanai, Rabakude, Norati loko tetele, Norati loko tetele. Great.
We continue on page 160, page 160 with Hashkibain.
Do that the other way. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashivenu, Leshalom. Lehavitenu, Shomrenu Lechaim.
Page 162, Deshaun.
We start with Ya La La, Little England. Ya La 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 La, Ya La 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 La, Ya La 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 La, Ya La 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 La, Ya La 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 La, Ya Take the shower roof and lay Israel, let them wash our hearts. Lost, oh, Tetra Shabbat, the Torah tongue buried olam. Lay Israel, oh, dear Leolam, Leolam. Kishet Yamin HaSadonai, Et HaShamayim Et Haaretz, U'Hayom HaShevi'i, Shabbat Chai B'Nafash. Ya La 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 La, Ya La 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 La, Ya La 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 La, Ya La 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 La.
We continue on page 163. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of night. Eternity utters a day. We continue on page 164, and then the evening number pages after that for the Amidah, the prayer said while standing. Please rise as you are comfortable in doing so.
Adonai Sefer Uviya Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, 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 Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei
continue in the middle of page 173. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied. Dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, quietude which arises from the shunning of the horror of the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Hashem. We pause now for a time of silence, of individual prayer. The prayers on the page or the prayers in our hearts. If you are using the prayers on the page, we will come again together on page 178, the prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Yiyatahu Le'olam Le'olam Shalom. Yiyatahu Baruch atah Adonai, Amavarech et Amo Yisrael, Shalom.
We offer thanks now for all the gifts and blessings we enjoy, for our celebrations and simchas. I'd like to invite anyone in the congregation who is celebrating or who has something that they are especially grateful for to share their joy and thanksgiving with our community. So, yes.
I'm grateful that we got to learn so many new songs with Marjorie last night.
It's a good thing to be grateful for. It's wonderful to be able to learn new music and to sing. You guys, I think I might have the best seat in the house even if I'm standing because you sound amazing. So, other things that people are grateful for this Shabbat.
So,
Yes.
and I'm grateful to Molly for inviting me to the dinner.
It's wonderful for friends and community to assemble on Shabbat. That's fantastic. Anyone else? Yes.
Well, I'm grateful it was a snow day because my kid was really happy. And I got to stay home and bake challah, which I haven't done in years.
Oh my goodness, so snow day and holiday.
Holiday.
Did you see what I did there? Yes.
I'm grateful for the ladies who bring me to service since I don't drive.
So grateful for the support from our community. That's wonderful. Anyone else on this side? Yes.
We're grateful that our son passed his practice test to become a teacher.
Fantastic. That's wonderful news to have them pass the practice test to become a teacher. Yes, last one on this side.
I just last week started a new job as a therapist, and turns out I'm a child therapist. Who knew?
So Mazal Tov on starting a new job. That's fantastic. Congratulations. Absolutely wonderful. Yes.
My daughter and her husband made it safely to the Philippines for the start of the adventure that will be their extended honeymoon.
Woo.
The grandcats are settling in well with us.
So you have to watch the grandcats while they are on their honeymoon adventure. Wonderful. Okay. Yes.
My son found a place for his family to live in LA.
Huzzah!
Wow. Great time. And they decided they should get married on Sunday before they move out of state.
Oh my goodness! So Mazal Tov on the apartment is much harder than doing the wedding. But Mazal Tov on both. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Anyone else? Yes.
This week, Gunther and I celebrated our anniversary and Sophia's birthday. She was born on our anniversary. She was a great day.
Oh, that's fantastic. So hold that birthday news, because we got something about that coming up. So happy anniversary. Wonderful. Anyone else celebrating or grateful for something that they would like to share? Okay. For all these things, Eternal One, we say, Modim Anachnu Lach. We give thanks to you, source of all. May we go from strength to strength, and may we always offer our abundant thanks for your many blessings along the way, and let us say, Amen. Okay, anybody whose birthday is in the month of February, we already know that there's one in the room. Please join me. Please join me down here. Oh my goodness. February is a busy month for birthdays. Face me. Come on in. Come on in. Does anybody have a 5 or a 0 at the end of their number of years this year? Yeah?
Yes, I sure do.
There you go. Congratulations, because that ends up being a significant birthday. So Mazal Tov. So I hope that for all of you, this coming year is a year of growth in wisdom, growth in prosperity, the bounty and abundance of family, of friends, of community, health and peace. May it contain all of the best blessings for you. May you be blessed with all things in this coming year as you celebrate your birthday. And let's all sing to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, all.
We had a birthday yesterday.
No, I did. No, but the group did.
Now, we think of those who are ailing or in care at this time, and we ask for names of congregants and friends who are in need of healing.
Joanne Denver.
Donna Cover, Joe Schmigat.
Richard Cordes.
Jane Donovan.
Sally Wright Miller, Mike Aldrich.
Mark Krause, my cousin Elisa Bromberg, who lost everything in the fire.
Oh, wow.
Mary Hannah,
Beatrice Travis, Paul Travis.
Sonia Nivens, Sedelnikov, Dorothy Geflon, and continued healing to Steve Barrenter and Marcia Barrenter.
I invite those who are watching us virtually to say the names of those that you are keeping in mind for healing out loud now. I now add the names of Ginger Schulman, Simon Rosenblatt, Sheila McLean, Harav Ariel Yehudit Bat Aviva, Harav Elka Chana Bat Leah. Page 371, you will see the prayer that we sing on behalf of those who are in need of healing.
Yeah, where is that?
So Shabbat Shira is a very special Shabbat, and in fact, we have a number of special Shabbatot, that's the plural of Shabbat, coming up fast and furiously. 2 weeks from tonight, we will be observing Repro Shabbat as we talk about reproductive justice. In March, on Pi Day, we will have a synagogue celebration of Purim. And then 2 weeks after that, we are going to observe Refugee Shabbat. But Shabbat Shira is very special because it involves music, it involves singing, and I've noticed that this is a congregation that really loves its singing and really loves its music. And it's not always so easy to find a musical guest because all of the different cantors have their setups for their Shabbat Shira. But I knew that my friend, cantorial soloist Marjorie Hochberg, who I shared a bima with for 7 years when I was in Tucson, she's still there. And I knew that she would be perfect for our Shabbat Shira, to make it joyous, to make it freilach. So let me tell you a little bit about Marjorie Hochberg. She was the cantorial soloist at Temple Emmanuel, which is now called Kol Ami, for over 30 years. As cantorial soloist, she officiated at Shabbat and festival services, helped to direct and support adult and youth choirs at Temple Emmanuel, led Strauss ECE Friday morning Shabbat services, and took part in many concerts, Purim spiels, and special events. In her role as teacher, she tutored approximately 400 B'nai Mitzvah students, and advised and calmed more than 800 B'nai Mitzvah parents. She taught pre-kindergartners, 6th and 7th graders, and confirmands in the religious school. In addition, she taught about Sephardic music, prayer book Hebrew, introduction to Judaism, and Jewish liturgy to adults, and helped prepare many adult B'nai Mitzvah students and confirmands as well. Her virtuosity as a teacher was recognized by the Jewish community in 2009 when she was granted the Grinspoon Steinhardt Award, a national prize given for excellence in Jewish education. She also tackled other duties as assigned, including editing the Temple Emmanuel newsletter, as well as writing and editing press releases, letters, emails, sermons, and Purim-spiels. She is honored to have been granted the status of Emerita when she retired in May 2022. Marjorie is married to Dr. Judy Shepard Gomez, continues to live in Tucson, Arizona, and enjoys travel, and loves spending time with her and Judy's 10 grandchildren. Marjorie Hochberg.
Thank you, Rabbi Appel. Well, it's such a pleasure to be here. It's really, really fun for me to be in real winter. And, winter's the time that people want to come to Tucson because it's warm and not too hot. So it's really fun. And I've received such a warm welcome. I'm very, very grateful. For my sermon and song, I want to talk about the experience of Jews in America and tie in Jewish music to that experience. So you might know that the first Jewish settlers in America were Sephardic Jews who arrived in the mid-1600s. They had emigrated from Dutch Brazil to evade the Inquisition because the Portuguese Inquisition had made inroads into the New World. So many Portuguese, it used to be that Jews from Spain immigrated to Portugal because the Portuguese Inquisition was not so severe. And basically it was not so severe because the Jewish community handed out so many bribes. But eventually that stopped working. So many Jews went to, some Jews went to Amsterdam, many Jews went to the New World from Spain and from Portugal. And there were so many Jews that went to the New World that in Buenos Aires, in that Buenos Aires region, the word Portuguese was synonymous with Jew. Just like in the early 20th century when many Russian Jews went to, not just to this country, but to South America. Russian, the word Russo, was synonymous with Jew. So these were Sephardic Jews that went first to New Amsterdam, then to Boston, then to various places in the country. And they brought their traditions with them. So in their honor, I'd like to sing a couple of songs that are in Ladino. Is everybody familiar with Ladino? So this is Cuando el Rey Nimrod. It's kind of, a chestnut of Sephardic music. And one thing about it is it seems to be kind of clearly borrowed from another faith tradition. And the Jewish content is kind of plastered over it. But you can still see, it's like the Pentimiento, you can still see the painting underneath. So the first verse is, when King Nimrod went out to the country, he saw in the sky, in the stars, he saw a sacred light in the Judaria, in the Jewish quarter, because Abraham had just been born. So Jewish quarter, of course, where the Jews live. Who was Abraham? He was a patriarch. Yes. You have to think way back to Hebrew school. Who was Abraham? He was the first patriarch. Abraham was the first Jew. So how can it be a Judaria if he was the first Jew? Okay? And then it goes on. There are many verses. I'm just singing a few. And he says, so it talks about his mother, that she's getting ready to give birth, and she walks through the country, and she doesn't want her husband to know where she is, because King Nimrod has threatened, just like Pharaoh, King Nimrod has threatened all the Jewish children. And it says she made a me'ara, she made a manger to give birth. So that sounds a little familiar also. And then in the last verse, her son is born and starts talking as soon as he's born. And he basically says, Mom, we have to get out of here because people are coming after me, and I know that I am the Son of God. So this is cuando el rey Nimrod. The chorus is Abraham avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. And in English, no Spanish or Latino, in English, Abraham, our Father, beloved Father, our blessed Father, King of it, Light of Israel. Cuando el rey Nimrod al campo salía, miraba en el cielo y en la judería, vino la santa en la judería, que había de nacer Abraham avinu. Abraham avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. Abraham, our Father, beloved Father, our blessed Father, Light of Israel. En fin de 9 meses, parir quería, iba caminando por campos y viñas, a su marido tal y descubría, tomó un me'era, ahí lo pararía. Abraham avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. Abraham, our Father, beloved Father, our blessed Father, Light of Israel. En aquella hora el nacido hablara, andaos mi madre de la me'ara, yo la topo, quien me acompañara, porque soy criado del Dios bendito. Abraham avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. Abraham, our Father, beloved Father, our blessed Father, Light of Israel. The second song is the kind of song called a romance. It's a multi-verse ballad, and these are centuries old in Sephardic tradition, and they constitute one of the clearest links to the Spanish roots of the Sephardic people and their culture. So this song has many variants. It has many verses. I'm just going to sing a few of them. It's called Tres Hermanicas, 3 little sisters. And the words mean there were 3 little sisters. 2 of them were married, and one was sent away. She was disgraced. Her padre, with shame, sent her to Rome. And then she has this long adventure. There's a castle that comes up in the road, all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to skip down a bit to, in the middle of the road, she fell asleep, and a caballero, a gentleman, found her, and he gave her 3 kisses, one on each cheek and one on her heart. And she wakes up and she says, if my beloved finds out, I deserve to die. And he says to her, don't kill yourself, my love, I am your beloved. So a happy ending. So it has a little refrain. Blancas de rosa, ramas de flor. So you'll see when I'm singing it. Tres hermanicas eran blancas de rosa, ramas de flor. Tres hermanicas eran, tres hermanicas son. Las dos eran casadas, blancas de rosa y ramas de flor. Las dos eran casadas, la una se perdió. Su padre con vergüenza, blancas de rosa, ramas de flor. Su padre con vergüenza, arrones la envió. En medio del camino, blancas de rosa, ramas de flor. En medio del camino, la niña se durmió. Por ahí pasó el caballero, blancas de rosa y ramas de flor. Por ahí pasó un caballero, tres besicos le dio. Si mi querido sabe, blancas de rosa y ramas de flor. Si mi querido sabe, matar me merezco yo. No te mates, mi querida, blancas de rosa y ramas de flor. No te mates, mi querida, el tu querido soy yo. So in the beginning of the 20th century was when the great immigration of European Jews happened. And that was, of course, a very mixed blessing for those that came. And there was a lot of music that was written about that experience. And some of it was very patriotic and, gung-ho America. But there are many songs like this one, the Green Cousina, the Greenhorn Cousin, that were songs of disillusionment. That because people had a very, hard time when they came to this country and they found that the streets weren't paved with gold and they were working in sweatshops and the hours could be very long. So this tune was copyrighted by Abe Schwartz. I don't think he was the first one who sang it, but he was the first one who copyrighted his arrangement. So in Tigrina Cousina, it says, a pretty cousin came to me, her cheeks were like red oranges, and she was always ready for dancing. She was gay and joyous. Through the years, she has become worn out from work. Now she has black lines under her pretty eyes, and her cheeks no longer glow. Today when I ask my cousin, how are you? She answers, may Columbus's land go to blazes. Es ist für mich so keine Cousina, shading on the Sieger and die Grüne, die Bäcke lachte Rotze Pomeranzen, viele Lepfos Becken nickte zum Tanzen, Bäcke lachte Rotze Pomeranzen, viele Lepfos Becken sitzen zum Tanzen. Und ihre kleinen schönen Augen, schwarze Fasen oben sich vor Zeugen, die Becherlich der Reuze Pomeranzen, haben sich voll ausgegringt im Ganzen, die Becherlich der Reuze Pomeranzen, haben sich schon ausgegringt im Tanze. Ein Essigwagen hat sich hinter sich begehen, mein Cousina, und ich crazy washing mal zu grüne, effort sie mir mit der Krumme Mirna, als brennen soll Columbus is Medina. Ich fetze mir auf Akume Mirna, als das brennen soll Columbus's Medina. So at that same time, between 1900 and 1950, was a period known as the Golden Age of Cantors. So many wonderful cantors came from Eastern Europe to this country, and they brought their distinctive, chazanut, their Hasidic, they're not Hasidic, but their cantorial style of singing, which varied a great deal from place to place. And once there was the technology, they were involved in making recordings. You might have seen or heard recordings by Yosela Rosenblatt. He was a huge star at that point. You can still see parts of films that he was in his funeral on YouTube. There were other cantors like Adolf Kachko and David Reutemann. And one of them was a cantor called Moshe Oisher. I love that name. So in addition to like audio recordings, Moshe Oisher in particular starred in movies that were Yiddish movies, and for a Jewish audience, and took on themes that were relevant to this time. So this film that he was in called Der Vilna Chazen, or the Vilna Town Cantor, was subtitled in English Overture to Glory. And you can find little segments of this on YouTube also. And it was based on the life of a Chazan, Joel David Lewinson, who lived from 1816 to 1850. Cantor Lewinson assumed the Vima at the age of 14. He was just a prodigy. And 10 years later, he left the shul and went to Warsaw to study voice and music and take a classical career in music. So in the movie that's based on this, the Chazan leaves his hometown and he goes to Warsaw to sing opera. He falls in love with this Russian countess and doesn't hear anything from home until someone comes to him and tells him that his little son has died. And then he comes back to his little town and on Yom Kippur, in time to sing Kol Nidre, and then he collapses on the bima. So I think it's probably was very relevant then because it dealt with the issue of assimilation, which is a relevant issue. So before the cantor goes to leaves Vilna for Warsaw, Moshe Oisher sings this little lullaby, Unter Damer, beneath the trees, to his son. And Moshe Oisher wrote the lyrics. It was written by Olshanetsky, who was a very famous composer for Yiddish theater. Unter Damer wachsen Rosen, und die Weser Winden losen, schwache Sonne und die Weser Winden losen, schwache Sonne. Siehst mein Kind nicht bleib am Fenster, weil du kennst den Winter viel. Und ich will mich auf mein Fenster, soll's gelegt dir vergeben. Ich will dich ein Herz nach, und das soll wieder bei mir im Herz. Unter Bäumen wachsen Rosen, und die Weser Winden losen, schwache Sonne und die Weser Winden losen,
Shpashezunenu, Eilulu, Shpashe mein Kind, Oi mein Hart, Eilulu, bleib mir gesund. So what he's singing is the grass grows beneath the trees and the wind blows furiously. Sleep, my child. Don't sit too near the window. I'm afraid you'll get a cold. God forbid that you should catch cold. The skies are dark like my heart. Sleep, my child. So the next song is Tumbala-laika. Tumbala-laika is is the Yiddish folk song. Probably you know it, or at least know the chorus, and you have the words to the chorus. So, and the chorus goes, Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala-laika, Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala-laika, 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 Raylan Zolzheim. And this is, I love this song because it's, of course it's fun, but also the girl gets the last word. So young man is thinking, and he's thinking all night, which girl should he marry? And he comes up with a test, and then there's a chorus, and he comes up with a test for her. He says, maybe let me ask you a question. What can grow without rain? What can burn forever? What can yearn and cry without tears? And she says, Narsha Bucher, foolish boy, why do you ask? A stone can grow without rain. Don't ask me how. Love can burn forever. A heart can yearn and cry without tears. Steht am Bacher, steht und tracht der ganze Nacht. Wenn zu nehmen und nicht verschämen, wenn zu nehmen und nicht verschämen. Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala-laika, Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala-laika, 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 Raylan Zolzheim. Mädel, well bei der Regen, was kann wachsen und regen, was kann brennen und nicht brennen, was kann denken, Wehne und Tränen. Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala-laika, Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala-laika, 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 Raylan Zolzheim. Narischer Bacher, was dort zu prägen, Aschdenken wachsen und regen, Liebe kann reinen und nicht entfernen, Herz kann decken, wenig und Tränen. Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala-laika, Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala-laika, 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 Raylan Zolzheim. Well, I grew up singing Jonah Jonah at summer camp, and when you look online, at least one of the times I looked online, it said that Jonah Jonah was written by Joan Baez. It was not written by Joan Baez. In its original version, Donna Donna, it was written for Yiddish theater, written for Aaron Zeitlin for a stage production of a play called Estherka, with music composed by Sholem Segunda. So the orchestra plays that melody several times in Estherka, and it was originally a duet for a man and a woman. So Segunda translated Jonah Jonah into English. That version never really took off. But when Arthur Kattis and Teddy Schwartz translated it, it became well known, especially after it was recorded by John Baez and Donovan and Patty Duke. Patty Duke I did not remember. Anyway, so this song was written in 1938. Wow. So it's a song about the Holocaust, which it made a lot more sense to me when I knew that. So I hope that everybody knows Dona Dona, and
Okay. On a wagon bound for market, there's a calf with a mournful eye. High above him there's a swallow, winging swiftly through the sky. How the winds are laughing, they laugh with all their might. Laugh and laugh the whole day through, and half the summer's night. Donut, 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 donut. Stop complaining, said the farmer, who told you a calf to be. Why don't you have wings to fly with, like the swallow so proud and free? How the winds are laughing, they laugh with all their might. Laugh and laugh the whole day through, and half the summer's night. Donut, 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 donut. Calves are easily bound and slaughtered, never knowing the reason why. But whoever treasures freedom, like the swallow must urge to fly. How the winds are laughing, they laugh with all their might. Laugh and laugh the whole day through, and half the summer's night. Donut, 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 donut. So while I'm introducing the next song, I invite the choir to assemble. So Donut Donut kind of leads me to the next song in this standing on one foot lecture about, or sermon about Jewish music. The camp singing music, the campfire style of Jewish music that was made famous in particular and initiated by Deborah Lynn Friedman of blessed memory. She wrote many of her songs as a song leader at an overnight camp Olin Sang Ruby Union Institute in Wisconsin in the early 1970s. Between 1971 and 2010, she recorded 22 albums. And her work was inspired by Joan Baez, Peter Paul and Mary, and other folk artists, folk musician artists. So we got to hear her very famous Misha Dara earlier in the service. So I thought we'd sing Lachi Lach. And figured that most of you know that song, you know, the Ezra Hashem. You know it and will sing with us. It's on page 645 in your CD-ROM.
Every
And finally, our last song is a song with Jewish themes that's made it into popular music. And that's Matisyahu's One Day. So we're just going to sing part of that song, but you have the words in front of you, and I hope that you all join us.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same, stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free, and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day.
Can you hear what's
And one day moves right into Aleinu on page 586 in your prayer book. Aleinu envisions a world one day. And I invite everyone who's comfortable in doing so to please rise. Aleinu Shabbat Kabbalat Shabbat, Lateilu Aleinu Sereshi, Shelo Asanu K'nei Aratzot, Velo Samanu K'mishpachot Ha'adamah, Shelo Samanu K'Abraham, V'Kol Aleinu K'Kol Ha'onam, V'Anachnu Korim, U'Ishadim U'Modim, Lifnei Melech Modrei HaMladim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 591. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Bayom hahu, yireh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. Please be seated. Kaddish is found on page 598. At this time, we think of all those who have gone before us, those whom we remember and miss. We recall David Thompson, Judith Garter, Marion Holmes, Alan Salzberg, Linda Tell, Myrna Herman, Pam Human, Lee Edge, Harry Packer, Audrey Roberts Kling, Paul Frank, Karen Schneider, Max Garcia, Donna Dwiggins, Beverly Conley, who died in the past months. Are there other names that you wish to mention?
Mark Abrams and Steve.
David Shelburne. Francis Roua.
Jerry Ridley. Marie Decker.
Rosemary Stevens?
Dennis Edson and Adrian Elkin.
Bill McKagan.
Harriet Berenger, Beth Feinborn, Robert King.
I invite those who are joining us virtually to say the names of those that you are remembering out loud right now. I now invite the mourners and those whose custom it is to do so to please rise for Kaddish, page 598. Yid Gadal, Yid Kadash, Shnei Rabbah, Ve'almana Tifrach, Yutei, Yavnei Malchutei, V'chayachon, Yom Echon, Chayei Dekol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalah U'Zman Karim V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shnei Rabbah V'orach Le'olam Umei Omaya, Yiparach V'Shavach V'Par V'Tromam V'Maseh, V'Hadar V'Taleh V'Talal Shmei V'Kushah V'Rihu, Le'elah Min Kol Birchata Shirata, Tushbachata V'Nechamata, Da'miram Me'olam V'Imru, Amen. Yerei Shlomo Rabbah Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom V'Rumav, Uyachaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru, Amen. We say Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for blessing, and may peace come to all who mourn. Please be seated. I'm going to skip over the guests and the announcements because this is a much longer service than you typically join us for. And if there are guests, I hope that I get to meet you after services when we go over to the social hall. Announcements include Shabbat Shira continues tomorrow morning at services. And then tomorrow evening, there's going to be a Havdalah Hutnez. So if your favorite part of tonight's service was the part where everybody sang along, it's for you. It's very, very much for you. But there's like, Glenn, is it now 23 songs that we're singing?
Yes.
Yeah, there's gonna be 23 songs, don't worry, the words will be up so that you'll be able to see them and sing loud and sing beautifully. Yes.
I have an announcement. On Sunday, we're doing a tree pruning work day here, so any gardeners or wannabe gardeners or people who just want to help out, come. We'll be in the garden because January, February is when you prune the fruit trees. So we'll be out there at 11 o'clock on Sunday.
Great, okay. Yeah, that would be good. It would be good if the choir starts coming up. Let me thank all of our musicians this evening, including Sandy Barrenter, Julia Franklin, Gunther Sue, Sophia Sue, Betsy Russell, Lauren Shapiro, Judith Sternberg, Annabelle Travis, Brad Wolf, and our very special guest from Tucson, Arizona, cantorial soloist Marjorie Hochberg. They did fantastic. Our closing song this evening is on page 625, Adon Olam.